Welcome back to Forever Young here at the Muskegon Health Hut. I'm Anne Marie with host Eric Johnson. Wanting to remind you once again, we are not doctors. This is not medical opinion. This is opinion. Information you can choose to use or refuse. Hopefully you will use it. And we are talking about heart disease and cholesterol. And Eric, you want to take it from there?
Yep, I just have the last two items here. These are specifically for blood pressure formulas. They help keep blood pressure that's already in the normal range. They help keep it there.
Okay.
This product here, which is called Blood Pressure Take Care, it actually, the blurbs on the front of the box helps to maintain healthy blood pressure levels through multiple pathways. So it helps in many, many ways.
Okay.
It's got several ingredients, helps in many ways to keep the blood pressure in a normal, healthy range.
Okay.
Both the systolic and the diastolic pressure.
Okay.
And then it also says modulates multiple important metabolic functions, including ACE, nNOS, and nNOS enzymes in vitro. So that means these are clinically proven. I believe that ACE means it's functioning like an ACE inhibitor.
Okay.
It does multiple things to help with the blood pressure and the relax the blood vessels so the blood can flow in and out more easily without having the heart to increase the pressure. And it also even helps, it's got ingredients to help with the electrical rhythm of the heart as well. This one is actually a taxi from a different formula. This contains a proprietary formula of bonito peptide extract. That's actually, I think it's made from shrimp casings after they take the meat out.
Okay.
I think it also can come actually from crab as well. It's got celery seed extract, garlic, passion flower, barberry, pomegranate. You know, pomegranate by itself in a high dose, something like 6 to 8 ounces a day, has been shown to help regulate, and it has to be done daily. So it's not, you can't just take a bottle of it and then be done. You have to take it daily, but it has shown similar clinical results to actual blood pressure medication in some cases. So this has a lot of different ingredients in it. Again, we can't, blood pressure is one of those, high blood pressure is one of those trademark diseases that technically is only helped by pharmaceutical drugs. So you have to be careful what we claim on those. And then we can talk more about the different risk factors. So there's basically 5 different risk factors. You have cholesterol. That's one of 5 different risk factors. Right. So I know everybody's focused on their cholesterol number and they forget about the other 4 as if they were unimportant.
Stress, right?
Yeah, stressful isn't. It can be a risk factor, if you think of it that way, but it's not. It's not
one of the 5.
It's not one of the 5.
So what are the other 4 again?
The other 4 are homocysteine levels. Okay. The C-reactive protein, or the amount of inflammation. Okay. That's in the blood. Okay. The triglyceride levels, or the amount of blood fat in the amount of blood fats. So if your blood is really filled with fat, you're getting too much bad fat, or too much fat in general can lead to a whole host of problems, including cardiovascular problems, because all that triglyceride, helps to form, artery clogging plaque, and it has a whole host of other, causes to be overweight.
And the last one?
And the last one, I feel like the presidential candidate forgot the last one. We'll have to get back to the last one. I can't think of it right now.
Okay.
It could be a hormone, healthy hormone levels.
Okay.
It's not homocysteine, but I'll have to get back to you. There's another one. I can't remember it as of the phone, but
okay.
I didn't have a lot of time to prepare for this show. I'm just doing this show off the cuff.
A question that I have is, you're talking about, like the liver.
We'll talk about the next segment, the 5th one.
Okay, we're not sure if
So all 5 of those are important. You know what I mean? Right. We can't just focus on one.
But what I'm confused about is.
I think it's actually a lack of exercise. That's the risk factor.
Lack of exercise. Okay. Yeah. That's our final one. Now let me ask you something else.
Being completely sedentary.
How do people know if their levels are right? Because this isn't something I don't think you're going to get if you go to your doctor and say, I want you to test my homocysteine.
Well,
and this
some doctors do cover all that stuff. A good cardiologist covers all those. He may not be talking to you about it, but he probably he's more than likely, he's thinking about it.
When
he
they
may
run
not
your-
discuss it with you specifically, or there might not be a specific.
But when they run your blood work, do you get those levels in your blood
yeah, you
work?
get all those levels.
Oh,
yeah.
you do. So if you get your blood, if you go and you get your.
You can see all that in the blood.
No kidding. So if
Yeah.
you just have a general.
Oh, I think the other risk factor is not. It's actually blood viscosity. It's the
Okay.
thickness of the blood, not
Ischemic.
Not,
So if you're
not,
too
not
ischemic.
exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be too ischemic and you don't want to be too thin, and ischemic means thickening.
Yeah. You don't want it to be. You want it to be the right viscosity. You don't want it to be too thin. It's rare to have blood too thin.
Yeah,
it can happen.
it's usually too thick. Yeah.
It's usually too thick. So blood viscosity would be the next.
Okay.
5.
So
Although
basically,
you probably could think of other ones, but 5. Those are the main ones.
so if you get your levels and you find out if you're not in normal ranges, now the question that I have is, would the normal range, the standard normal range, be not maybe the same as what the naturopathic normal would be? Like if you go and you have all these things tested in your blood and they say they're within normal range, then do you just say, then are you okay to say, well, I'm fine, so I don't really have to do.
Maybe you could say it's fine. For example, if your C-reactive protein were in the normal range,
Okay.
that might be something to. Then you actually, that's kind of more of an important risk factor than any of the other. The C-reactive protein.
Okay.
That actually is the name for that. I have it here in the book. One of the many books that I have on the topic. Oh, we should mention smoking too on another segment.
Okay.
Smoking and heart health is really.
I think we'll
Especially
finish
important.
up with smoking because that's one of the.
Right. It's called CRP. Oh, C-reactive protein, CRP. Yeah.
Okay.
C-reactive protein.
And CRP would
That's
that.
probably the best marker of how healthy your heart and arteries are going to be if that number is either low or high. If your risk factors, that's one of the most important risk factors.
Really, and that'll show that.
There's overemphasis on cholesterol because they have good cholesterol medications, and doctors have really their attention really has been focused on cholesterol because they've had good treatments for high cholesterol. Not good treatments, but treatment.
Will it show
I
it
don't
as-
think they're good.
Will it show it in a standard CBC if you have if your C-reactive protein is high? Is
Yes.
that in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
A standard cardiac panel will show that. Yeah.
Okay, so all this stuff is shown in your cardiac panel, so you can basically. I understand that now. I'm just curious. I was wondering, how do people know that? So if your cholesterol, for instance, is high, then these other things should be off, correct? If your cholesterol is high.
Well, your cholesterol could be high, and you could have a very low risk of cardiac of that that high cholesterol turning into plaque and lining the arteries.
Okay.
Or inflammation of the arteries.
Okay.
You could have high cholesterol and not be. It's not a good. If your cholesterol is wildly high, there's probably something going wrong.
Right.
There's either some kind of viral infection in the body causing this. After any kind of surgery, like when you go to have your cholesterol test, they ask you if you've had surgery like in the last 90 days because you've had surgery. They know that your cholesterol levels go up.
Exactly.
Because the body's actually knitting it back. The part where you were cut, the body's knitting it back together with cholesterol, so it's going to raise your cholesterol.
I know.
So in that case, having high cholesterol is not a problem.
I know
because your body's being reknitted back together.
I know we're coming to the end of the show. We're not there yet, but why don't we try to cover smoking so we make sure that gets done because that is huge.
Right. You definitely need to cover smoking. And
Okay.
the dangers of smoking.
And the dangers? Well, I guess we're going to take a break, and then on our final segment, we're going to talk about smoking, and it's leading to heart disease, very, very much so. So we'll be back with more Forever Young after word from our sponsors.